Welcome to the second lesson of Learning Together. Today we're going to check and change the structure of a data frame, view NAs as a separate data frame and remove it from the original data frame, and then how to create subsets using the filter function for the 3 penguin species. The first thing we're going to do is rerun the R scripts from last lesson. We are going to run the scripts that load our libraries. And to run a script, you're hitting Control and Enter at the same time. Now we're going to run the scripts that allowed us to load the penguin data frame, view the penguin data frame, and check the summary of the penguin data frame. What we see is that there's 344 observations and 8 variables. So what that means is that there's 8 columns and 344 rows. Now looking at the summary, we see there's a minimum, a first quantile, median, mean, third quantile, maximum, and NA. So what we're going to do now is check the structure of our data frame using the structure function for our penguins data frame. What we see is that we have factors, numbers, and integers. Factors are groups within a data frame. Numbers are numbers including decimal points, and then integers are only whole numbers. Then what we want to do is change the factor for species to a character. What we did is penguins, $species, and then the assign symbol, which is less than sign hyphen, as that character, penguins, $species. What that's basically saying is that in the data frame penguins, in the column species, we want to change it to a character. And we see that now. We see that now species are characters instead of 3 groups. But characters are not super useful, so let's change it back to a factor. So we're doing penguins $species, and we're assigning it as that factor, penguins $species. So in the species column of the penguin data frame, we want that to become a factor. And looking at the structure, it's now a factor again. Next, we're going to view NAs for body size in a separate data frame, and then we're going to remove those NAs in the original data frame. So creating a new data frame called penguins_NA, we are filtering the penguins data frame for everything that is an NA in the column body mass. We are filtering out or creating a subset of data in which we are looking at the column body mass in the data frame penguins, and we're looking for the observations where the body mass data is not a variable. Alright, so let's see where that is true. And we see that there are 2 rows or 2 observations where the body mass as well as some other variables, the data is not a variable. So now we want to remove those observations, those rows where it's on a variable because we can't statistically analyze it. So what we're going to do is rewrite on the old data frame penguins, and we are filtering out the data frame penguins for when there is not an NA or when there is data a variable. So the exclamation mark in front of is.NA function is basically saying that. So instead of saying when there is an NA, it's saying when there is not an NA. And what we see is that there were 334 observations, and now there are only 342 observations. So it filtered out the 2 in which the data was not a variable. So next we are going to create some subsets using the filter function for the 3 penguin species. And our subset is a group from the whole. So what we did is created 3 new data frames, Gentoo, Chinstrap, and Adelie, and we filtered them using the penguins data frame, in which we're saying that the species column of the penguins data frame equals Gentoo or equals Chinstrap or equals Adelie. And now we can see them right there. As a quick recap, what we learned how to do is check the structure of our data frame. Data can be characters, factors, numbers or integers. We then learned how to change the structure of our data. Next, we learned how to create a separate data frame in which it views our observations in which there is an NA, and then rewrite on the old data frame in our observations in which there is not an NA, or when there is data available. And lastly, we created different subsets for species and sex. Alright, hope you learned something today. Happy coding!